flex. The live is one in the six. With the runner, boy, you nigga, no question. You would run a motherfucker high stepping. Hey, you never had a big enough weapon. Motherfucker never learned your lesson. I'm a 88 pack nigga. I'm a 88 pack nigga. I mean, day walker, drink blood, fangs out, full moon, motherfucker change like a hoe, nigga. I'm just a nigga from the hood trying to stack a little cheddar for the money.
Yeah, buddy, pull on up, man. I wasn't even gonna do this live this morning. I got a lot of personal things going on, but my day really don't get started until this afternoon. So I said, you know what? Let me take some time. I'm not gonna be here all day. Let me just take some time to bring about what's been going on. Y'all know Greg Hackett. If y'all don't, well, just do the research, man. I don't know him personally. Never met him, but he's what I call righteous in reference to the sport of boxing. He's righteous. I was sub to him, right? And I say was past tense. You'll see why in a second. And I see y'all pulling up. Smash the like button, share the video. You know, this is very important. And salute to y'all on Rumble. I will finish this off on Rumble. I'm just letting y'all know that. You know, I support Greg. You know, and he's righteous in the sport. He has a strong opinion, but he's immersed into the industry to a degree where many of us are not. And I respect him. I do. I really do. And, you know, I'm one of those people that I listen because I don't comment in a lot of spaces because, you know, we can get, you know, I got a pin. I done spent link wrong. Oh my God. We can be a distraction when someone from the LDBC shows up in the in a chat. It becomes more about verbally assaulting us and all this other weird. So I just don't say anything. But Greg's a good dude. He's righteous in the sport of boxing. And I was listening to YSM, whom I've met at presses. The brother YSM, the brother from YSM, because YSM is a group of brothers. It's not just one brother in particular. But if you follow him, you follow him. So this morning, Stormy sends me a link to YSM's live stream. And he says that YouTube took Greg Hackett's channel away from him. So I'm like, well, why would they do that? One part of me is saying, why the hell would they do that? The other part of me is saying, typical. What did they say he did? Well, I'm gonna tell you what happened. All right. The brother explains that the brother from YSM explains that Greg was live and he went in on Keyshawn. By now, y'all lost saw that. Or as Stormy calls him, Key Shame. Because he is. Key Shame is a shame. So he went in on him. Right? So then somebody pulls up in the live stream. Right? And Greg is telling him, you know, turn your camera on. So based off of what I'm hearing, dude hits he turns the camera on, but it wasn't really him. Dude started playing some pornography. Right? And Greg obviously doesn't, you know, he works through StreamYard, but he obviously doesn't know how to work it as good as everybody else. So whatever happened, he didn't realize what he was looking at first. So then it was up there long enough for them to zap the damn live. He didn't realize what was going on. So not only did they zap the live, they killed his channel over that. Now, when he disputed it to say, you know, look, that wasn't my fault. that was unintentional. That was somebody I led onto the stream. I didn't know what they were doing. YouTube was like, no. That's their due process. And I know that's not manual review. That's AI review. Because not too long ago, I had a meme. And when I went live, it was live on Bear Cave. It was live on Pep Talk. But it wasn't live on Drew Titan LLC. It wasn't live. And I said, what the hell? And I said, man, it's the meme. So I took down the meme and I disputed it. And I said, this is not what you think it is. Look again. And then at 9:40, they reviewed it and said, oh, okay. Our bad. But AI is trained to flag things on site. And then when you try to dispute it, a manual person, if they're not on no crap, they'll say, oh, no. You're right. But certain people that manually review our stuff, they'll do things like that, like what they did to Greg Hackett. You mean to tell me they couldn't just say, okay, look, we got to put you in YouTube jail for a week or a couple of days? They snatched his whole channel down. And when he went to dispute it and say, hey, man, I couldn't see, that wasn't my fault. That's why StreamYard, they give you options where you could bring someone up on a panel, but you'll hear their voice. You won't hear them. You won't see them. You'll hear their voice. They did things like that because of the freaks out here. They did things like that. Dante in that super chat, he says, salute my brother. I work a new shift. Sorry if I haven't been able to catch your lives. It's okay, brother. You working, brother. That's all good. Your family and your lifestyle comes first. I appreciate, man. You catch the replay or whatever. I'm glad I can bring value to your day when you can catch me. I appreciate the support, whether it's through super chat or just your eyesight. I appreciate the support. Much love. And right now, what I'm saying, family, is Greg Hackett needs our support, bro. I don't think Greg Hackett knew. I don't think a lot of black content creators know what they're dealing with when you're dealing with this YouTube thing. That's why I'm promoting Rumble so hard. And all of the big YouTube channels, y'all need to open up that other revenue stream over there. There's money over there too, and you already have the audience. That's why I'm promoting Rumble. YouTube has gotten way too comfortable with suppressing content creators, black ones in particular. The difficulty is you have to pick your struggle if you're going to hit them with a lawsuit, because it's called the burden of proof. There's no way to prove that a quote unquote Miguel is not an actual person. Miguel is an entity. My channel has not acted this funky, even when we were giving it to Tyson Fury. Notifications was going out. The biggest checks I ever got was when I did Fury content. I got big checks there. This Ryan Garcia thing, weird things happen to my channel. Notifications don't go out. Do y'all know one morning I got out of bed and I checked my YouTube studio, I had 43 subs missing. I was like, what the fuck? I said, so I refreshed the page. I said, wait a minute. So I contacted them. I said, yo, explain to me why I have 43 subs missing from me in a day. Why'd that happen? Their response, they first of all, they give you a generic response. When you contact YouTube, you have to ask them, am I speaking to a real person? I don't want to talk to AI. Then they confirm it's a real person. I said, great. Why do I have 43 subs missing? Then they give you a generic answer. Right? Generic answer, right? We're just going to block you this morning. Any knuckle dragger or hairless ape from the Caucasus Mountains that could defend anything Tyson Fury does, you deserve to be run over by a herd of mammoths. That's an old school car fire. So when I asked them, they give you a generic response. people subscribe, people unsubscribe. Like, we don't know this. Been doing this almost 8 years. We don't know this. I said, but 43 in a day? That is one committed troll, because a month before that, 15 subs went missing. And I said, what's that? They said YouTube goes through channels and they remove bots. I said, well, how do you know the difference between a bot and someone who literally just subscribed to me because they enjoyed what I had to talk about? And I didn't get a straight answer. A month later, 43 subs go missing. Well, let me take it a step back. When I pointed that out, 10 subs came back. Right? So now this time, when the 43 went missing, they put you on hold for 5 minutes. Then they said, we're going to review your channel. Then they come back and say, there's nothing technically wrong with your channel. I said, okay, well, why did the 43 subs missing? Then they regurgitate them. They repeat themselves. They say, hey, people unsubscribe. I said, but 43, that must be. I said, what, are y'all removing bots again? With a big old question, with a bunch of question marks. Are y'all removing bots again? They says, no, it's not that. I said, so 43 subs in a day. I turned off 43 subs. They said, well, we're reviewing your channel. There's no technical difficulty. Okay, so you're standing on it, right? I said, okay, thank you very much. As a content creator, they give you an option for them to email you, for them to email you a copy of the conversation, in which I always have a whole file of that stuff. And guess what? The next day, all 43 subs came back. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's never their fault. But when you question it, they rectify it. You know how many times I tell them, hey, man, why is this live not suitable for all advertisers? If you're a content creator, you know what I'm talking about. Well, you violated our community standards, but it's not a strike or nothing. We just feel that it's not suitable for all advertisers. I said, okay. Well, it's fully monetizable on my other channel, and it's not monetizable here. So then when I asked them, what is the criteria that you guys use when you're manually reviewing content? Which means there is a rule. When you get hired by a job, you get trained, I'm assuming. And they say, okay, when you manually review content, it has to meet this standard, and this standard. And if they meet these standards, it's fully monetizable. If they don't, that little dollar sign goes in yellow and it's not fully monetizable. It's no big deal. But I want to know, how could two different people give two different answers based off of the same criteria? If a police officer arrests you, that means you've broken a law. The same cop should arrest you for the same thing because they follow the same standard. We're not getting that here. I mean, do you get the comparison? Do y'all understand the comparison? Now watch this. It shouldn't have anything to do with my personal feelings. You can have a female cop show up to a domestic violence situation. And when she gets in there, she might see the dude standing there with a swole eye and the woman standing there with a frying pan. And this officer could be a female who was a victim of domestic violence herself. Her husband was kicking her behind. And now she's a feminist with a short haircut. And she goes up there and it's domestic violence. And then she finds out that he made the call. He's standing there with his eye swollen and his head's leaking. And she's standing there with a frying pan. And as much as she wants to take the woman's side, she has to what? Go by the rules. As much as I want to party with you, sister girl, I gotta lock you up because of the rules. What are the rules that YouTube is following? What are they doing? What are they doing? They're all over the place. And here's what's the unfortunate thing. YouTube is a private company. They pretty much could do what they want. But can they? There's a rule against, well, I don't want to spill too many beans, but poor business practices. Like, I mean, pretty much, we sign up for this, but you got to draw the line at abuse. You could own a company and have employees, but you can't abuse them. Now, right now, they can say, if you don't like it, leave. Hashtag Rumble. But the reality is, content creators, black ones in particular, from different spectrums, boxing, other forms of sports, I've noticed, and I've went around YouTube, I've noticed they have the same arguments that I have over here. Notifications not going out, snatching subs. Now, if they snatched 43 subs from me and I caught it, and then they returned the next day, but then they told me there was nothing wrong with my channel, somebody did that, is what I'm saying. The first time they did it, they gave me some BS excuse and said, hey, you know, we removed bots. Well, how do you know these people are bots? How do you know that wasn't somebody I met in the street? And we started talking. I said, hey, I got a YouTube channel, and they followed me a week ago. You removed them? How do you know what's a bot or not? How about check with me? These are 10 people we plan on removing. Can you confirm these are real accounts? Why don't you do that? Why don't you allow us to block people one time and block their IP address? Why we got to block the same maniac 80 times a day? The person I just blocked in the chat just now, I'm willing to bet that's the same person that's been following me for 6 years. New account, new account, new account. But if you let me block his IP and phone number or whatever, I should have to block him but one time. And when you block, the Matumbo should be so strong. The Matumbo should be so strong that once I block you, they shouldn't even be able to see me on YouTube. It's like that on Coach. What up, Coach? I'm glad you showed up. I'm about to get into that in a second. What they did with me on your channel. The Matumbo should be so strong that once I block you, you shouldn't even be able to see when I go live on YouTube. You shouldn't be able to see my videos. The only way you see me is when you log out of your YouTube account. And you could watch me, but you know how when it says comment, right? When it says comment, but log in first, you could log in, but you can't even see me because you're blocked. Growth, what up? He says, Mr. Big Play says, who runs YouTube Music, Lyra Cohen, the Culture Vulture. Man, I don't use, I try and use YouTube minimally. They want us to use their music and everything else. No. Hey, Kofa, listen to me. Rumble, bro. Rumble. We should have been there at least 4 years ago. I'm not even kidding. Because we on eggshells over here. Now, you remember the old saying, don't quit your day job? Hey, listen, man. YouTube, the Google checks, I paid a lot of bills, bro. I've taken the family on vacation. I had some great months. And to the clown that was in the chat earlier, yeah, some of the biggest checks I've seen from YouTube was during the Wild and Fury thing. And I never lied on Fury. But you know what that was? That wasn't a British dude. That was a knuckle dragger who wants to sleep with me. That was a knuckle dragger, by the way. Look here, agent of chaos looking to disrupt. Your lips are big because you're blowing on things you're not supposed to be as a man. That's why your lips are big, your hair's nappy, and you're disgusting. You tried to get a tattoo of your favorite fighter on your girl's back. And she knows you're weird, but she ain't got nowhere else to go because she's insecure and overweight. And her lips are big, and you're picking fleas out the back of her nappy neck. And you're disgusting. But anyway, I need my content creators to understand. Oh, by the way, getting Coach Hudson. I'm the one. What the fudge is this, man? 1 second, y'all. Man, robocalls early in the morning. My brother Kofa in that super chat, much love. He says, working on it, bro. I'm with you on Double Dip and YouTube and Rumble, but definitely should have been on Rumble heavy. Yo, bro, it's fun over there. You know what I do every morning, brother? When I feel that my live on YouTube is gonna go left and I can't maintain, because I'm a man and I shouldn't have to cap what I say. So I'm gonna use YouTube for what they're for. Soon, they're just gonna get 8 to 10 minute videos from me in about 10 minutes of a live stream. And you see that link at the top, Kofa? That's my Rumble link. And I tell my audience, click the link, come to Rumble and get it raw and uncut. And follow me on Patreon. And what I noticed is my numbers on Rumble, my live streams over there in the thousands. YouTube, about 500, maybe 1,000. And there's bread over there. Now, I don't know how long that's going to act. I don't know how long that's going to last, because, you know, the bigger the company gets, down the road, maybe Rumble will start acting funky. But we do this for a reason. I love boxing. The boxing don't love me back. And what happens is we have inmates running the asylum. We find ourselves having debates with people that just started watching these fighters that we talk about, because I don't lie on anybody. But I'll be damned if I have a debate with some guy like Mag 7 who can't even form a sentence without stuttering all over the goddamn place. And he just started watching Tank Davis after the Ryan Garcia fight. That's when he became a fan. This is a grown-ass man. Bro, you're not qualified to talk to me, bro. In the words of Charlo, shut up, be quiet, humble yourself. Man, bro, stop talking to me, bro. I put the link in the chat. You know that nigga tried to... that nigga tried to get on the panel. I'm done talking to you, bro. There's nothing to talk about. Go away. You're done. And he only wants to come talk about Tank. I'm not talking to a dude. That little kid, I ain't gonna get in there, man. But a lot of things gonna start coming. This is sidebar. A lot of things gonna start being revealed about that guy. And all I'm gonna say is, I told you. I told you. I'm gonna say it. I might laugh about it, but then I'm gonna move on, because I'm talking boxing. And when I say, yo, y'all really loving on this kid, it's gonna make sense. Everything I said about him. All of these sound bites I got, you know, where's my favorite one?
What are you, a homo?
I'm telling you, there's a reason why I do things like that. The why are you gay? I'm telling you. See, y'all not reading in between the lines, man. Y'all gonna find out. Y'all gonna find out. Y'all gonna find out. But this is all relevant to what I'm talking about with Greg Hackett. Greg Hackett was a victim. He let some goddamn freak on there, and they start flashing themselves. Remember when I told y'all there was a dude backstage, and I was like, yo, you got to turn your camera on. I don't know you. Remember when I told you? What did he do? He started flashing his penis. I said, see? See? First he turned his camera on, and of course it was a Latin dude. Then I said, bro, you're not coming. Leave your camera on, bro. And then he turns it on again. He started flashing his cock. You see what I mean? Miguel indeed. Miguel indeed. Man, Greg Hackett is a truth teller. And when I tell you there's no due process with these big goddamn corporations, they feel they can do anything. So now if they don't give him his channel back, which I hope they do, but if they don't give him his channel back, he got to start all over. And what I'm telling y'all is, if he has to start a new channel, go over there and subscribe and share the hell out of his content. If you can, get at him on the gram. I just realized I didn't follow him on the gram. There's 2 Greg Hackett pages that I saw. I don't know which one is his. But y'all go to YSM and listen to what, because he explains it. And by the way, getting back to Coach Hudson, last week, I wake up, Coach Hudson is live. So I'm in the chat and I say something and I look, I said, why's my name in gray? And I already knew what it was because I've been doing this a long time. So I said something else. I said, shit, why is my name in gray? You know what they don't understand? A lot of us talk to each other. So I text him. I said, do you see me in the chat? He was like, no. I was like, oh, okay. Welcome to YouTube, brother. Because they just shadow banned me from your channel. I know he ain't blocked me. I was a moderator. I know that. I know that. So I'm not, I'm not mad because I know what they did. Tay-Tay was shadow banned off of Blue Blood's channel for years. And I know he ain't block her. So now I got to send Coach an email, and what he has to do, I'm letting you know what to do now, Coach. I'll talk you through it. You got to put my email, you got to go to settings, and you got to go to community. You got to put my email in there. You got to actually put my channel link in there and make me a standard moderator. And that's how you take me out the trash. But what I'm saying is, why do you think they did that to Coach? Why do you think they did that to Coach? Who recommended Coach to start a YouTube channel? Me. How many times Coach has said that out loud on this channel? A bunch of times. Who heard it? Miguel. So nobody else got blocked but me. That's how you know this is a targeted attack. That's how you know. But it's called the burden of proof. My brother MP over there in Rumble, salute. Dead serious. Dead serious. So this is what they did to the brother Greg Hackett, man. And that's why I'm saying, moving forward, YouTube will only get 25% of my talent. And y'all gonna pay me. You know why? Because I'm acting within the guidelines of your silly, inconsistent rules of regulations, and you're even sillier Gen Z, fingernail painted, tight jean wearing, I picked the bear, purple hair wearing, pillow biters. Those guys don't know what it's like to work in the field and do real work, get your fingers dirty. Jobs that could potentially get you killed, make a man out of you. You guys are born into a system where you can make 6 figures, which is great, but you're sitting behind a goddamn computer with AC when it's 100 degrees outside, with heat when it's 2 degrees outside. You don't know what it's like. Gen Z is the most easily offended. And they're the ones that grew up on, Prozac and Ritalin. Nah, Scott, I don't salute Chris Colbert over here. He's from my city. I don't deal with that kid. So every morning, I'm professional. I could watch my mouth. But when I feel I have to make a point where I have to talk like an adult without worrying about offending anybody, that's when I tell people, click the link, come over to Rumble if you want to get it raw and uncut. because Miguel is overseeing me here. Now, Rumble might, I know, Scott, I'm fucking with you. Now, they might be another version of Miguel over there on Rumble. But until he shows his face, I'm chilling. I didn't start a channel to make money like a lot of these clowns did. I was following 78 for a good 7 years. And when he said, I'm starting this LDBC thing because the YTBC is too racist, and I knew that because I couldn't have a boxing conversation without getting called the N-word, and my face wasn't even attached to my avatar at the time. And I said, yo, I'm just trying to talk boxing. Why? My God. So he said, we doing this LDBC thing. I said, you know what? I got to support this brother. I've been supporting him. And I just started showing up so he could see me. And it's been on ever since. And I started showing my face, and I said, let me contribute to the community. Y'all know I started talking about health and wellness first. It was me and New Fat Boy Fitness, and I tried. But I was doing boxing content too. As a matter of fact, my first boxing video was talking about Canelo legacy padding. When he was trying to go up and fight, I don't know. It was around the time he tried to go up and fight Badu Jack. And I said, man, this dude is legacy padding, man. Fight your contemporaries. I think it was in the dark. That was my first boxing video. And boxing took over because I love this sport. And I did it because it was the right thing to do. It was started by a black man, and a lot of people don't understand what the LDBC is. Started by a black man, but it's not exclusive to black people. And people that get into this industry, they listen to us, and when we're talking about a fighter that they love and they don't like what we have to say, all of a sudden, oh, you guys are the black, you guys think you're the Nation of Islam of boxing, and no, you just don't like what I have to say. What do I say? Prove me wrong. BF, salute, brother. You saw this? They killed Greg Hackett's channel, man. And incidentally, he was killing Keishame Davis, aka Tio Negro. Bro, they killed his channel, bro. His channel's not there no more. I was watching YSM. Stormy sent me a live stream from YSM yesterday. This is why when you let people on your panel, you tell them to turn your camera on. And like you said, StreamYard allows us to put them on where you can hear their voice, but you can't see them. This dude got on his panel and started flashing his man parts or whatever, started airing pornography, and Greg ain't take it down fast enough. They killed the stream and demonetized and took away his whole channel, bro. I think this was yesterday. Now, I don't recall how many subs he had. I know I was subbed to him, and I missed that. But my God, bro, people, YouTube act like we do this on purpose. We let these freaks on here, and they do that. And I know we have to be careful, but there's no due process because he appealed it, and it was still, the AI was like, no manual review looked at that. They have a rule in place where they say it's zero tolerance for this. But why are they acting like he did this on purpose? How about this? Leave the live up and tell him, in order for this to go up, you have to clip that whole part out. There's been times where I go back and say, oh man, the dollar sign is in red, which means we're leaving it up, but it's not monetized. You go there and they say at this part, you add something that was copywritten or belonged to someone else. Here's what you can do. Mute it or remove it, and the problem is solved. 100% of the time, I remove it and the problem's solved. Didn't even give him that. Didn't even let him explain it. Do you know, let me tell you how crazy YouTube is. Convos with Cam in that super chat. She says, my mommy and I will continue to support the truth. Blessed to you always, bro. We on the job, and we appreciate you and your mom's support. Much love. Thank you, Convos with Cam, and we support you too. And I want you to multitask and start a Rumble account. Everybody here should be on Rumble because it is. It was 2 days ago, Tay? It was 2 days ago that happened? That's crazy. He had like 20,000 subs. Bro, this is ridiculous. It's ridiculous how they, bro. Scott says, I got Greg mixed up with Jaleel. I just found this out this morning, bro. I just found this out this morning. It is the worst. Do you know what YouTube does? You'll get out of bed one morning, you'll be demonetized, right? Watch this, y'all. You'll be demonetized. And you're like, well, what's going on? You contact them. They'll give you a generic response. And they won't tell you what the violation is. You'll be like, okay, well, what video? What did I say? Because the proper thing to do is just to remove it. Remove the video. It's like, whatever. I mean, if you got on YouTube to make money, God bless you. I told you, I'm professional. I didn't get on here to make money, but I told y'all from day one, if I start making money, I'm going to treat it like a business. That's why I went out and got an LLC. I said, yo, I'm making a lot of bread here. I'm making a lot of bread from here. So, you know what? I LLC my name. I pay taxes on this. I'm 1099. Every year I have to file for the money I made off of YouTube. So I treat it like a business. So there's rules, fine. Want me to tone down my language? Fine. That's why I say I'm actually doing Google a favor. I'm actually doing YouTube a favor. I don't want to scream and cuss at you or to ruin your brand. So what I do is we go over to Rumble where I can scream and holler and cuss until Rumble says I can't do it. And then I'll tell y'all go to Patreon because y'all paying for that. Sid Mark, salute. He says, respect, Drew. I watched Greg post. He was speaking facts about Keyshawn. Yeah, he didn't lie. He didn't lie. Yeah, Tay, he didn't lie. I don't care if he's animated. You see, Gen Z, they be all about, well, you ain't got to scream. Yo, we men. We adults. Sugar-Free Mars has more testosterone in her lives than most of these dudes do. Sugar-Free Mars. She goes in. I'm from the Bronx. That's a regular day at the office for me. I grew up with chicks talking like that. I'm good. But you got grown men. She can't talk like that. He can't. They all sound like Rolly. He talking about. Why he talking? Oh no, I like Ryan. Why he talk? Oh, I like Keyshawn because he's friends with Ryan. Oh no. And for all we know, Miguel probably sent these dudes on suicide missions just to do that. And Greg didn't know how to, they did it to me like last month. I let the dude up. He saw flashing porn. And what I did was, I didn't get clipped. What I did was, though, I went back to that live. In that last part of the live, I clipped it out. How about that? So it's not there. Tay says, I don't understand how we got in trouble for someone else and never got a chance to take it down. Bro, I was saying that before you pulled up. They didn't even give him a chance, bro. They didn't even give him a chance. They flagged him. They stopped the whole live. They flagged him. And then when he went back, the channel was gone. But somehow, what he did was he reached out to them and appealed it, and they told him no. There was absolutely no due process. The due process was the AI. That was the part where YouTube manually should have had someone talking to him. Well, what happened, man? Yo, I let some bum up here, and he started doing that. I'm not like that. Check my previous work. You can look at it and tell that was unscripted. I'm talking boxing, and because I'm talking about a fighter that this dude obviously likes, they start doing that because they knew they'd do this. Give me my channel back. And hey, yeah, don't do that again. Slap him on the wrist. Don't do it again. Don't do it no more. Fine. You can leave the live up, but you got to clip that last part out. Fine. End of discussion. But no, this brother was telling the truth. He talks boxing. He's a black content creator. 20,000 subs. And they did this. I'm telling you right now, 20,000 subs. If I was to make a guess, I'm going to throw a number out at y'all. He had 20,000 real subs, not no made-up stuff. 20,000 real subs. I don't recall what his numbers look like in the live stream. Y'all ever been in his live stream? How many people would be in his live stream when he went live? Just give me a number, because I never paid attention. I've been by his lives a couple of times, but I was always like doing stuff. So I never paid attention to his numbers. If y'all been to his live, how many people on average did he have in his live? If you know. I'm just gonna make a guess. Yeah, I feel you, pugilism. I mean, you know, that's why I told y'all I don't mess with Keyshawn. It's over, and I'm not going backwards with these dudes. I'm done. The older I've gotten, the less patience I have. If his dad wasn't there, that explains his behavior, because I don't expect the mother to help him understand how messed up he is. Tay says good little number for sure. So an educated guess, when Greg went live, OG Marcus says he killed the live and tried to restart the live, and he couldn't. When the pill did, they killed his channel. I was, oh wow, man. Man, I feel, I'm annoyed with this, man. They shouldn't have did that to him. He needs his channel back, bro. Just off a general principle. Just off a general principle. Oh, bro, listen. I'm going in on Key Shane, a.k.a. what I call him, T.O. Negro. I told y'all yesterday, there's too many comparisons between them. They're behaving the same way. The thing is, though, Teofimo has more accomplishments. Teofimo could say, I beat Loma. He could say that. He could say that. He could say, I fought Shakur. I lost, but I fought him. He could say, I fought Cambosis. I lost, but I fought him. He could say that. But Keyshawn, a.k.a. T.O. Negro, he's displaying an extreme level of self-hatred. He's a super coon. And now you got his minions out here doing this to people that are keeping it a buck about him. Yeah, pugilism. You see, Keyshawn, bro, when he got into that fight, our last vision of boxing on ESPN is Keyshawn Davis getting into a fist fight backstage with some dude that whooped his brother's ass while his baby was in the carriage, y'all. I want y'all to think about that. I want y'all to think about that. I want y'all to understand he was supposed to fight Devin on the undercard of T.O. versus Shakur. And at the last possible moment, when Bill was in contact with him, he was giving him a chance. He decides to fight Ortiz. That's a pump fake. Then he's playing games with Ryan in a club. And then told Ryan, hey, I'm trying to fight Devin. Well, did you get into the welterweight rankings? You didn't even do that. So how does he have fans? I don't get it, bro. So Greg Hackett was on there giving them work. And I don't care whether you're a fan of his or not. I always say to y'all, stop me when I'm lying. Stop me when I'm lying. I don't have to lie on these kids. I'll give them a chance to say, okay, you want to do, okay, he said that. Hey, you want to do, okay, he said that. And then months go by, they do the opposite. What am I supposed to say, man? I'm supposed to ignore it? No. So some Keyshawn fan jumped on there and they got Greg, and Greg ain't pulled a plug fast enough for YouTube. And this happened. So whoever did that is high-fiving and laughing right now. That's why I'm telling all content creators. You see how I got the Rumble link pinned up there? Y'all better take y'all ass over there. Don't give YouTube 100% of your talent. Use YouTube for what it's for. Do a little 5 to 8 minute video. Be well spoken. Don't drop no F-bombs. And always plug your Rumble and your Patreon at the end. BFTB does it. I'm doing it now. For more raw, uncut, edited boxing content or whatever content you're doing, follow me on Rumble and Patreon. Every morning, when I feel it's going to go left, I tell y'all. And I'm letting y'all know right now, the code word is Michael Buffer. I'm going to stop saying Rumble name. Because sooner or later, Miguel's going to catch on. I'm going to tell you how this is going to go, y'all. Pay attention. Miguel is going to catch on. Right? And what they're going to do is they're going to say, you're not allowed to plug other entities, meaning rival businesses. Because what's going to happen is a lot of people are going to start going to Rumble and they're going to lose money. It's going to be a little bit of money to them because Google is billions of dollars. But billionaires, they watch every penny going in and out of their business. They don't say, hey, we lost 500 million. Hey, we lost 100 million. We lost 10,000. Now we good. No. We need to know where there's a leak in the boat. We need to plug that leak because that 10,000 could turn to 1 million fast. We need to know why that happened. So what we're going to do is every now and again, YouTube sends out, we've updated our policies. Always read that. They'll say it in legalese, but the translation will be, you can't plug other entities there. So I'm going to stop saying Rumble. Be like, yo, we Michael Buffer. We Michael Buffer. Click the link at the top. We Michael Buffer. And they might stop doing that. You can't drop links in your to other entities in your chat. But by then, it's going to be too late because my audience is going to know. And I'm asking all the content creators, BVO, Thomas, BFTB, Stormy's on point, Greg, YSM, Four Corners, Champ Side. I'm asking you, brothers, y'all got to make that lateral move. Because what they did to Greg was, do y'all know? And salute to Scott in that super chat. He says it's a shame because Keyshawn is a hell of a fighter. You know what, Scott? He's beating the people he's supposed to beat. But you know what? I'm not even going to give him that anymore because I was. I'm not even going to give him that no more, brother. I'm not. Because you know what? He hasn't done anything. And I'm tired of looking at, with these kids, I'm tired of looking at the cup half full instead of half empty. Gone are the days where I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt. You got to show me. Right now, between 140 and 147, it's lit. Look at Devin's list. It's lit. And by the way, moving forward, these guys can't say anything about Devin until they fight Brian Norman Jr. Brian Norman Jr. is the second best welterweight in the world. I'll have none of it. How about that? Nobody's saying Brian Norman Jr.'s name. Why? That man's not dead. What we doing? All right, he lost to Devin. Okay, that happened. Whatever. What about everybody else? What about everybody else? What we doing here? Yeah, we need blue blood over there too. I'm gonna talk to him. Yo, bro, because they can do whatever they want. They've gotten too comfortable disrespecting us. I see people doing things. Bro, do you remember how long that Champ Side is a Monkey video was up? You know how many times we flagged that? And that was up for like 2 years, bro. They had a video of me. I slapped that camo do-rag off his head. It was about me. My picture was in it and everything. I said, man, how many times we got to flag this? Those were Mexican Nazis. I'm not kidding. Mexican Nazis. I'm dead serious. The Proud Boys make all the sense in the world. I said, wait, no, that's not new. Coco Tyler, you remember those guys? I said, Mexican Nazis, what is this? And if they're walking around in America, because that was a few years before Donald Trump took the seat, right? If it wasn't y'all, Coco Tyler's grandma probably got deported. I will vote for Donald Trump. Good luck. I can't get deported, bro. No matter how hard you may have wanted that to happen, I can't go nowhere, bro. Can't. Both sides of my family, we've been here since the beginning. Skywalker in that super chat, much love. He says, they always unsubscribe me from you. And I have unsubscribed. I've been unsubscribed from 78's channel for a week. Had to resub this morning. You see what I mean, y'all? You see? There's no excuse why 78 shouldn't be at least at 150 subs by now. There's no excuse for that. There's no excuse for that at all. At all. This is what they do. I was a wrench on Coach Hudson's channel. And then when you say things to them like, yo, I'm shadow banned, they were like, no, we don't do that. Nonsense. I have a conversation in writing. When I asked the person at YouTube, they said, we don't do things like that. I said, that's not what I'm asking. I'm asking if it were a possibility, could you do that? The dude said yes, but it's a violation of our what did he say? It's a violation of their standards in at YouTube. He messed up by saying that to me because he agreed. No, he revealed that I was right. They can if they want to. And if they can, that means someone's doing it. What do you think the Miguel is all about? Why do you think I play that all the damn time? Why do you think I do that?
¡Ay, Miguel! ¡Miguel!
Look. Look. I'm on every morning. 6 days a week. General is about 5,000 short of 100,000. He should have been had his 100,000 placket. Look at that. Look at that. And Coach is a small channel. Why is he under the microscope? Why do you think? Did you know that they a couple of years ago they took champ size monetization? I'm like, what the hell did champ size even do? And guess what? When he asked, they didn't tell him. Do you know how much content he had to delete until he eventually got to the problem? And see, that's what they do. Imagine, and salute to Scott in that super chat. He says, Haney and Abdullah Mason are the good role models. They are. They are. Now watch this. Let's say y'all driving in your own neighborhood. And then the cop pulls you over. You're about 300 feet from your house. Cop pulls you over, flashing lights, you pull over, wind down all the windows, you know, whatever. And yeah, Tay, I remember when you had to do that. That was crazy. They don't tell you what the violation is. Now watch this. You 300 feet from your house, cop pulls you over, comes to your window, license registration. You give it to him, you ain't beefing. He don't even ask you what, you know why I pulled you over. He don't even ask you that. So he takes your license registration, goes back to the car. He comes back with a ticket, $150. He hands you the paper. You're like, what is this for? And he says, I can't tell you. Wait a minute. Okay, I see it checks the box, $150. But officer, what was I pulled over for? I can't tell you. You got to figure that out. And you legit, you're like, man, I'm not paying this. You go home. You go to your court date. You're like, officer. And you're like, you stand in front of the judge. And you're like, listen, the guy pulls me over. I don't know why I was pulled over. And the judge bangs the gavel and says, you got to pay the $150. Why, judge? Well, the cop said, you have to pay it. Well, yeah, but what's the violation? Well, I can't tell you. What? That's what YouTube is doing, y'all. What I just explained to you, that's the scenario I just gave you, that's what YouTube is doing. Champside had to delete countless videos and live streams. Countless. And eventually, he deleted the material that was in violation. But congratulations, he had to delete like maybe, I don't even know the number. I'm going to assume like 50 to 100 videos. Maybe not that. I don't know. But this is what Champside does full time, bro. This is how he makes his living, bro. And when you're trying to act within the guidelines of the rules and regulations, and you do this for a living, the last thing you want to do is violate that. So you would think if you ask something so simple, hey, YouTube, where's the violation so I could rectify it? You're trying to be in compliance because obviously you did something they didn't realize was a violation. And then they say, we can't, they literally say, we can't say. And it's like, wait a minute. Was it yesterday? Was it today? Was it the other day? No, you got to figure it out. So you got to delete all your content. Imagine that. Now, I don't know exactly how much content he deleted, but it was a lot. Because if you remember, Champside was demonetized for, I don't know, it was a few months. That must have hurt him. Watch this. Junior, the truth was demonetized. He just got it back. They didn't tell him what the violation was. He couldn't figure it out. And what happens is when you demonetized, you got to wait like 90 days to reapply. I'm going to tell you something else. Same thing happened to Stormy. Stormy never even had a strike on his channel. What the hell did he do? And he didn't reapply. He said, man, whatever. I just do this. Stormy got a whole job, a pension, and everything. But these guys became lab rats. It's like, okay, well, what did I do? Well, we can't tell you. You have to do this. They give you all of these rehearsed answers. And when you cut through the crap, when you start asking real questions, they can't respond. They don't know they know it's not fair. This is an easy fix. Where's the violation? This live at this minute, because they do things like that. When I've gone into my live and my dollar sign is in red, they say between minute number this and between the minute, like 1 hour and 11 minutes here and 1 hour and 20 minutes, you did this. You can leave it, but we can't pay you for this. Like, man, I can either mute it or remove it. But when you do a whole live stream talking about how bad of a person Tyson Fury is and you back it up with facts, when you do a live stream about how bad of a person Ryan Garcia and his fanatics are, they'll wait 3 months later and then that monetization will go away. You're like, well, what did I do? By then it's 3 months later. You don't know what live it is. There might be people going to review. You might have some live streams there that people say, man, this is classic. Let me go back and watch this. You look at that, it has like 100,000 views. You're seeing money off of that. But if it's in between the video that's the problem and what you're doing now, and they're not telling you what it is, you take the video down. That's why I tell all of my brothers and sisters, you know what I do after I end my live streams? I download it, and I have about 9 terabytes of external drives. And I download it, and I drop and drag it. So in the event that happens to me, No problem. I could delete 90 days worth of material because I have it. And I can upload it on Rumble and upload it on my Patreon. You clowns can't stop me. You cannot stop me. But Rumble is another option. You can make money over there. Your audience will follow you over there. Like I said, the live streams that I did this week when I went to Rumble, I have more views on Rumble over there than I have over here on YouTube, y'all. That's the move. And what they did to Greg Hackett was ridiculous. Now, I'm assuming now you can't go over there and, do pornography or whatever. But for now, I'm loose with my mouth. I talk with bass in my voice. I play the music I want. And for now, they don't bother me. The bigger it gets, it might get a little different. It might. But for now, you want to get over there. Well, it's before it hits critical mass. On the business aspect, when an invention comes out, it's like an S curve. When the business comes out, you want to invest early because that's when you make the money at it as it goes higher. But once it reaches this peak, we call it critical mass. And you want to wish that you had been invested in that when it was in its infancy. For example, don't you wish you invested in Microsoft when it first went public? Like in the 80s, like Apple in the 80s. I think in the 80s, to buy stocks in it was it like $10,000? And once Apple, once we got into the Wi-Fi era and everything, they said if you invested in Apple in the 80s or whatever it was it IBM? I forgot, but whatever. If you invested in that, if you took $10,000 and invested in that in the 80s, by 2000 something, you was a millionaire. Nah, Snoop, S curve. You could look it up, S curve. And once that invention hits critical mass, you wouldn't have invested in it. For example, in YouTube, you can't get monetized until you have over 1,000 subs. They've made it easier. You can get what they call mini monetization. That's something they started doing like a year or two ago, where you have 500 subs and you can apply so you can receive super chats, but you won't get money off of advertisement. They call it AdSense. And then once you get past 1,000, you can apply for the monetization program and the AdSense program, and they either thumbs up or thumbs down you. Right? But if you was a YouTuber where there was no money in it and you had people following you, once they started that, you was grandfathered in because it's like, oh, you already got 2,000 subs. Like brothers like 78. He was doing this YouTube thing before there was money behind it. And when they started it, they say, well, one of the criteria is you have to have over 1,000 subs. By the time they did that, 78 had like 20,000 subs already. So he was already in. But the messed up part is these clowns are regulating black content creators, and they're going back and saying, we got to find a violation somewhere. And then they're making it up. Because if you dispute it, they're wrong. But how do you dispute it when you don't know what the violation is? You see that? So now you got to wipe your whole content clean in a video that they didn't like. Now it's gone. That's why I tell all my content creators, brothers, sisters, take your stuff off, back it up for yourself. Now, I don't know how many videos Champ Side did that he had to remove. But I'm like, man, that brother needs his monetization back. This is a dirtbag business. And all we're doing is what? Calling out racism? Calling out cheaters? Calling out coons? And they're listening right now. Whoever did that to Greg is high-fiving. And you're a damn coward. You're a coward, man. What makes you go in here and do that? What makes you do that? So I don't know what we got to do. But, and you know, there ain't nothing but a black dude that did that. It's always a monkey. It's always a monkey. It's always a monkey. So Keyshawn now has a fan base that I don't deal with. And because Greg went all the way in on you clowns, y'all did that. Y'all start flashing pornography. These are the people that want to debate with us about boxing. While we're talking boxing, they're talking smooth skin. Hold on, y'all. Sorry. This is outrageous. This is further proof that nobody's on code. This is why, and let me say this, and I want to be absolutely clear. I don't care if Active Squad finds the cure to AIDS. I will never support them. I'm done, bro. I'm out of patience. Moving forward, I don't deal with Shakur. I don't deal with Keyshawn. I never dealt with Ryan. I did for a second, but I never dealt with him. I don't deal with Tank Davis. All right? Matter of fact, I'll be hard-pressed to deal with anybody on Devin's list. The only dude that I respect and support is Brian Norman Jr. That's the only one. Number one, he got in there. Number two, he's a dog. Number three, I spoke to him face to face, and I have I'm a good judge of character when I speak to you face to face. That young man is an old soul. He's not flashy. He don't need that crap. He's an old soul. He could be my son, but I got the vibe from him. I bet you he listened to soul music and old stuff that was around before I was born. I bet you he does. I bet you. I bet you. I like Brian Norman Jr. I'm not even going to talk about, his dad. I'm not even going to do that. I don't need to. I don't need to. I'm talking about Junior. I respect that young man, bro. And every name that I mentioned, why y'all acting like Brian Norman Jr. don't exist? He's food, right? He just lost, right? Don't nobody want to fight him now? I wonder why. But y'all good for using Devin's name and not fighting. I want to fight Devin, but he too big. What are y'all doing? Devin says I'm too big. Let me go fight at 154. Zan Desires. Zan Desires, what does he do? Oh, you're gonna sue me. Oh, you on that? Okay, all right. He gonna sue you. All right, well, fight him then. Fight him then. Fight him. Right now, Shakur is going back and forth with David Benavidez. Let me tell you something, bro. Let me tell you why Shakur is the worst. Shakur, it's become abundantly clear that as talented as he is, he does not know or respect the game. He doesn't respect the people that paved the way. When that little curly-headed Negro said, why didn't anyone tell me that Marvin Hagler was this cold. What? Didn't Tank say, I didn't know who Marvin Hagler was? What, wait a minute. It needs to be a rule that if you start boxing, you have to do like an 8-hour course. That should be a rule. An 8-hour course before you even do anything. You don't know who Marvin Hagler is, man? This is the same kid that said Tyson Fury is better than Muhammad Ali. He really said that. Now, you can have your opinion, but I'll be hard-pressed. I don't even know many white folk in Europe that'll say that. What are we doing? So this kid's been doing a lot of weird things for a long time, man. The winner of T.O. and Shakur calls out Devin. Who does he call? Nigel. Connor Ben. Never mind Connor Ben for that 68 and 60. But my man, he's a drug cheat, bruh. All right, you don't want to step on little bro's feet, right? All right. So little bro, Keith Shame, calls out Devin. I'm like, all right, cool. Somebody gonna do it. And then you find out he's not even trying to get into the rankings at 147. And then we get on here and talk about it. And Greg opens up the panel, and these dudes get on here and start flashing pornography. So that's what we're doing? How many times I told y'all people got to qualify to talk boxing with you? How many times I told y'all that? Press 1 in the chat if you see the link pinned at the top. Salute the champ side. Press 1 in the chat if you see the link at the top. Y'all see that? See the link? Y'all might want to click that link right now. I'm going to show you how to do this. Press 1 if you see that link at the top. Then hit that link. Go to Rumble right now. I'm ending it on YouTube. This is the beautiful part. Did I cuss? Did I scream? No, I don't need to do that. I'm using YouTube for what it's for. Give me my AdSense money. Give me my AdSense money. You'll get the professional, well-spoken. Y'all did the brother Greg Hackett dirty. But don't worry, we see it. Give that brother his channel back. And if he has to start another channel, that's cool. Because I'm going to be one of the first subs. But press the Rumble link. We ended it here on YouTube. But we're not ending it for today because I'm not done. Go to Rumble right now. Click that link.